Hi, Eric Gibaud, ericgibaud.com, and today I'm going to present you my 5 photography tips or advice for June 2020. Let's start. First tip, use your seat belt for your camera. So I'll explain. Very often we take our camera bag and we put it on the floor in the car or in the trunk, and actually there are a lot of vibration there, so this is no good. So if you have an available seat, put your bag on the seat, or passenger seat, okay? But then it's very important that you put the seat belt, because if you break, then the bag will fly, it may break things inside. So it's important. I put a picture in there. So as you can see, my bag actually take the seat belt, pass it through the handle of the bag, and then click the seat belt. It means if I break, even if the bag would fly, it will be stopped by the seat belt. So I advise you to do that because it will protect your bag while traveling in a car. Tip advice number 2. Many cameras nowadays let you activate a grid. So in the viewfinder on the LCD screen, a grid can be in 3rd or in 4th. And then you see these fine lines, and it's very useful because it helps you compose, not just in 3rd or 4th or whatever you want, but you get more. It's easier to place the element, and also to check that it's properly horizontal if needed. If like you have the seaside and you have horizon and you want it horizontal, then it's a lot easier to do it. So if you have this tool on your camera, activate it. Tip number 3, do not push your ISO if not needed. Very often I see picture and you see it's ISO 1600 and speed 1/4,000th of a second. I say, daytime, nothing's moving in there, so why did you put the ISO that high? And many people think, wow, it doesn't really matter, does it? Yes, it does. Because the more you push your ISO, the less dynamic range you have on your camera. It means you won't have much details in the shadows or in the highlight. You will lose a lot of things. So push your ISO only when needed. If, for example, you may move, so you know there is a speed you cannot go lower, or your subject is moving and you know that you need a minimum speed, and then when reaching this speed and you don't want to open more the aperture, or you cannot open it even more, the only option is to push the ISO up. So in this case you do, but you just do what you need, no more than what you need. So very often people go with a 1600 ISO, daytime, nothing's moving, and actually they're losing a lot of dynamic range just for not knowing this tip. Tip advice number 4. Many people buy a prime lens. If they're on APS-C, very often they buy 50mm, on full frame on 85, 90, 75, depends. On micro four thirds they buy 40mm, something like this, because the idea is to get a lot of out of focus and to do really shallow depth of field. Problem is the abuse of it. So they go and they do a portrait, and the depth of field is so shallow that they tell the person, move your sideways a bit, and then you have this eye that is in focus and this one is already out of focus. So you should pick a depth of field, an aperture, so the depth of field is okay to have both eyes in focus, because it's not nice to look at a portrait, except if it's a special effect, but normally it's not nice to look at a portrait and just have one eye in focus and the other one is blurred. Even if it's slightly blurred, it's even worse, because if it's strongly blurred, you feel it's on purpose, but if it's just slightly, you feel, oh, there's a mistake here, it's not nice, okay? And this is not just for portrait, it's also when you make a picture of 2 person, a couple or 3 person, if you open too wide your aperture, likely one of them or 2 of them out of 3 or 1 out of 2 will be out of focus. And if it's an effect you want, then you should be really out of focus, so you see it's on purpose. And otherwise it's not nice, because you see one is perfectly in focus and the other one is slightly blurred. If it was more, you think it's okay, but if it's just slightly, it's not nice to look at it. So if your camera lets you use that, there is sometimes a button to check depth of field. So when you pick the aperture, and I don't speak about the distance and the focal length, it's already picked and you know the framing you want, so your distance is marked already. And you can check the depth of field. So if you click on that button, if you're not at the widest aperture, the lens with the close a bit to the aperture you want, and you'll see what is the real depth of field. So this way you can check. But if you don't have that button, make the picture and then check that both eyes are in focus or both person are in focus. And then if it's not this way, close a bit the aperture, and that's it. Tip number 5, advice. Well, actually it's an exercise I'm going to tell you you could do this week or next week. You're going to make one picture a day, just one, but you're going to click just one. So the idea is not a matter of luck, but I would like you to make a picture you think about. Today I'm going to do such picture. You think about it. You think about the way you will frame, the way you will compose, the way the light will come, all this. If you cannot go out because of confinement, whatever, you do it at home, but think of one picture. Then when you're ready, you make this picture. You press the shutter just once, and then you keep your camera away. Next day you repeat again, and this 5-7 days, okay? And after 5-7 days, then you open your car, you download the picture from your camera, you check them on the screen, and then you look at them and you see if they are the way you expected them. And I guarantee you will be surprised in a good way. You will notice that when you think about the photo, when you think about composition, light, everything, you work a lot better, and you'll be surprised by the quality. So practice this way, and this way you are going to better your efficiency when you make picture. You will think first, see, preview the picture in your mind, and then catch the picture exactly as you want, okay? So I think this is an exercise that really helps better your picture. One picture a day, triggering just once, okay? Well, I hope you like this advice or tips, and if you feel it may help other people, please share them on social networks. If you have not done yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a small button down here and also a small bell. If you click on the bell, you get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, you can leave a comment below or send me an email to info@ericgibaud.com. Below, I also put links of my gear on Amazon and also links to other parts of my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself. See you soon. Bye.